Sensory marketing. The world around us is filled with magical scenery and the many wonders of nature. We are able to enjoy the beauty of Earth through our five senses of sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. We have grown accustomed to having these senses and do not realize just how much these senses impact and influence our lives. Each sense has the ability to greatly alter one's mood or actions. Marketing companies have taken advantage of these senses and used them to influence consumers' feelings and decision-making towards consumers ultimately purchasing that company's product. They do so through a type of marketing dubbed sensory marketing, which, as the name suggests, utilizes appeals to multiple senses to influence consumerism. These appeals to senses can so easily alter our decision-making. It's quite astonishing. That's why sensory marketing is beginning to become an integral part of ad campaigns for companies around the globe. If a business can properly craft an advertisement that links our senses enough to amplify them, well, let's just say that business will see sales increase by astounding numbers. Take the Dunkin' Donuts campaign in South Korea, for example. On municipal buses, Dunkin' Donuts made it so that when their company jingle played, the aroma of coffee was released throughout the bus. And as a result, visits to Dunkin' Donuts outlets near those bus stops increased by 16%, and sales at those outlets by 29%. It's quite clear that as this practice of sensory marketing becomes more and more prevalent, those that create the greater multi-sensory connections in their advertisements will be the ones that succeed.
Sense of smell, an amazing feature that is rather unappreciated. A human can identify thousands of scents that can trigger a vast majority of memories and emotions. Walking in the park, picking up the scent of different flowers brings you nothing but joy. Swimming in the ocean, the smell of the salt water reminds you how much you love the beach. Sitting in the kitchen, as the aroma of your favorite food diffuses throughout the room. On the contrary, the smell of a skunk as you're driving in the car, the gross trash sitting in the back of a restaurant, and the nasty smell of puke evoke negative reactions and feelings. The sense of smell is a very powerful function that people do not realize is affecting their thoughts each and every day. As an attempt to reel in the consumer, retailers utilize different scents to help connect with their intended audience. However, some research has been discovered that discredits the strategy and portrays how it is not possible to accurately affect people in the intended way. Several people who possess expertise in how smell operates have exposed retailers for attempting to deceive consumers by informing the general public about how the smelling process actually functions. The varying effects of scent on customers should hopefully lead them to the realization that these appeals to their sense of smell are intended to evoke consumerism.
Humans' first interactions with sound were one that we used for our survival and to survive in the world around us. Now, our sense of sound has been transformed in the world around us to something that's used against us in our daily lives. For example, think about the last time you saw a trailer for a scary movie, right? You hear a lot of sharp, minor chords. You might think that this was placed there unintentionally, but the goal of this music was actually one very intentionally put there by the movie companies. You might have seen trailers and advertisements that say #1 movie in America or this is the greatest movie of all time in trailers. But actually it's the music in the background that convinces people to go see the movie. For example, when you hear sharp minor chords, like in the Jaws theme song, for example, like when you hear da-na, 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 this constant rhythmic sharp minor chords that are in these songs, they slowly get the audience heart racing and the feeling that you want to go get when you go see a horror movie, which subliminally convinces the audience to go see the movie without them even knowing it.
So what about specific retail companies using sound, maybe in TV commercials or advertising campaigns that make you want to buy their product?
Well, advertisers use music and sound in their commercials that they know are geared toward their audience that they want to buy their product. For example, in a lemonade commercial or a camping commercial, you might hear more summery music in the background. Whereas in a skiing or snowboarding commercial, you might hear more adventurous, upbeat music in the background to get you exciting for the adventure sport that you're about to partake in. Companies use slogans with mnemonic devices and catchy tunes that automatically make their customers remember what their song was and what it was about. For example, if I say 3 words right now, everybody in this room will remember one song. Cars for Kids. Gotcha. There are certain sounds that advertisers use specifically to remind people of either childhood memories or pleasurable memories that they've had in the past in order for them to associate their product with those pleasurable memories and, as a result of this, buy their product.
So, each and every color, although we may not even realize it, can deeply affect how we feel and how we act. Certain colors can make you feel passionate, and certain colors can make you feel calm and tranquil. For example, red is a very passionate color, and it is used in traffic lights and, more importantly, advertisements to attract one's attention. That is where the magic happens. For example, you could see 2 totally different colors. You could see a red or you could see a blue. Red is a warm color, and it can drastically affect your mood or many of your emotions. It can make you feel hostile. It can make you feel warm inside. It can make you feel passionate. It's the color of love, of course. Blue, on the other hand, it can make you feel depressed. It can make you feel calm. It can make you have this sense of tranquility. Each color affects our lives, and most of the time we don't even realize it. And advertising and marketing companies, they have taken advantage of our unknowingness, and they have utilized it to advertise their products and instill their products into our minds. We have become a materialistic society, and largely in part of advertisements. Everywhere you look, there's an ad, and everywhere you look, there's a different color. Each color has a specific motive inside. They will attract you, they will deter you, but in the end, they will force you to buy a certain product. In addition to their product, where they use a multitude of color and other advertisements, the specific store, the retail store, also utilizes a variety of different colors in order to attract their customers, and when they get them in the store, make them go into a certain path and ultimately get on the cash register line. So the way they do this is they use red to attract the customer, and what's important to notice about red is they use it in a very subtle manner, because if you overuse red, it will actually deter people. So you have to utilize it in the right manner in order to truly attract people. And also, they want to highlight their product. They don't want to take away and make the background bigger. When you see a for sale sign for a house, for a sale, for like 50% off sale, the sign is always red. The lettering is big, bold red, and the background is an off-white. This is to make it pop. It's to draw your eye. You could be driving on the road, you could be walking and talking, but if you see that red, your eyes automatically are drawn to it. More specifically, in brands, specific patterns and colors are utilized to influence people to buy a certain brand and also increase brand recognition. Interestingly, research into this phenomenon has been limited due to the fact that some people have different reactions to a certain color, and some colors evoke a different memory in one than it would in another. This has been utilized by psychologists and therapists all over the world in order to really dig into the mind of the person and help solve what is troubling them. For example, a simple ink blot or simple colors or simple memories or objects, they will think back to that color and it will help evoke a certain memory or a certain emotion in them that will not be able to be triggered unless that color or that shape is involved. Overall, the overarching theme of color is that it greatly affects our society today and has played a big role in making our society a materialistic one. Companies all over the globe have utilized color in order to, in a way, trick consumers into falling in love with their product, remembering their product, and ultimately purchasing their product.
So we've talked about smell, we've talked about sight, and now we've talked about hearing. But what I want to talk about now is how those senses aren't just used for human interaction every day, but they're also used to sort of trick consumers into buying products and becoming part of a brand. Now, when I'm talking about branding, I'm talking about brand loyalty, and I'm talking about choosing one product over the other, not because of this product's quality, but because of the people that are selling the product to you. I'll walk you through. Now, my first example of this is what I'm wearing right now. I'm supposed to be some sort of scholar, talking down to you, talking sort of condescendingly with my scientific evidence of how the senses have affected branding in recent years and how they've affected ad campaigns. Such companies like Louis Vuitton, Tory Burch, Chanel, Gucci, you put these on, you feel clean, you look clean, you are clean, but it all comes back to I feel confident in what I'm saying, and therefore what I'm saying is more truthful and now has more meaning or holds more truth than what I would say if I was wearing like a hoodie talking to my audience. Next is this whole point about how brands become so popular. Brands become popular because, in theory, they're answering calls for desires of consumers. Like when people wear polo, for instance. Now, I haven't fallen trap to this branding that we're talking about, but this theory that I am a consumer, right? And I have the desire, subconsciously, I want to look like I own a boat, right? I want to look like I go out every night, I have a steak dinner. This is that image that I'm creating for myself. How do I get that image? I go to a polo store. I see the things that they offer. I see the people playing polo on the logos. And I think, wow, this is that lavish lifestyle that I want to have. Last up is sports companies like Nike, Adidas, Gatorade, who have cornered the market and created a giant monopoly on people that are trying to become more physically fit or trying to enter a new workout regimen. These people, they're like, I want to start a new workout, but first I have to go to the Nike store and pick up some gear that'll help me with this new lifestyle. And thus, every time somebody does that, Nike is making another sale. So in the end, you have people that want to fulfill their desires with materialistic items. And then on the other side of that, you have companies that are filling these desires with more product, and as a result, it creates a materialistic society.
I see all this potential, and I see it squandered. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives.